The Dodgers swept the Rockies at Coors, and LA's rotation just got a lot more interesting, courtesy of Roki Sasaki and Tyler Glasnow.
You are Locked On Dodgers, your daily Los Angeles Dodgers podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
I'm Harry Ruiz, that's Travis Rodgers, and it's time for Locked On Dodgers. On today's show, Max Muncy is not only producing for the Dodgers, he's now getting paid extra for doing it. Tyler Glasnow looks like he's more than ready to come back, but first, Travis, Roki Sasaki continues to get better as the Dodgers get a much-needed series sweep in Colorado.
That big glove is doing miracles. We'll get into it on today's episode, brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code LOCKEDON for $20 off your first purchase.
The Dodgers just swept at Coors, and Roki Sasaki is becoming a problem for the rest of the National League. And look, there are a lot of big names in the Dodgers rotation. Blake Snell, Yoshinobu Yamamoto, Tarek Skubal, and potentially very soon Tyler Glasnow. Then you've got Shohei Ohtani, who's in a universe of his own. He's working his way back to pitching again. So it's easy to look at Roki Sasaki and think he's somewhere down the pecking order. But here's the thing, Travis. Sasaki keeps giving the Dodgers something they desperately need in this rotation. Quality innings since the All-Star break. And he did it again Wednesday night at Colorado. 5 innings, yes, 7 hits and 1 walk, but also only 2 earned runs and 6 strikeouts.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. I think this is a good example of one of my favorite expressions that I use a lot on my radio show. I think I use it occasionally here. It's 2 things can be true at the same time. And one of the things that is true is that he is at the back of this rotation. He is behind all of those guys that you mentioned. He's also incredibly important to what they're doing right now. He's also been one of their more reliable arms, not just through the portion of the season after the All-Star break, but really all season long. Along with Yamamoto, he's taken the ball every time. Like, you think about how many different guys have been in and out of this rotation, whether it's been because of inconsistent performance, whether it's been because of injury, whether it's been because of, any number of reasons. Sasaki has taken his turn in the rotation every single time. And I think, Harry, if you and I would have heard that maybe back in May or June, we would have been like, no way, man. There's just no way he's going to make it to that point. And yet here we are. We're closing in on the end of August. And Roki Sasaki, when he takes the ball, gives the Dodgers a really good chance to win every time he goes out there. And he's pitching with more confidence. He's attacking the strike zone more frequently. You saw last night that even after Teoscar Hernandez kind of misplayed a ball in left field, he just kept firing. He didn't really, lose his mind. He didn't panic. He just continued to go throw quality pitches. And it's been a really impressive, couple of months for Sasaki. And I think you're starting to see the makings of not just a good pitcher, but a consistent pitcher. And I think that's an incredibly important distinction, that everybody in the major leagues, when they're on, is going to get guys out. You're in the major leagues. You've proven the ability to get to the best league in the world. You have good stuff. When you're on, you're going to get guys out. The difference is, can you get guys out on days where you're not on your game, where you're just in your B-level stuff, maybe even your C-level stuff? Can you still pitch 5 innings, only give up a couple of runs, save a bullpen on a day like that? And Sasaki's starting to turn into that pitcher, and it's really fun to watch.
And I love it that you brought it up, because I was going to do it. Teoscar Hernandez, what happened with him right there at left field? Because that looked like a gimme out. That route he took to get to that fly ball at left field, it was like, man, that just shows you it's a weakness for this team. Every once in a while, he'll get a great catch out there, but it's more of a flaw, his defense, compared to what you could get out of somebody else. But that bat, that it has come clutch time and time again, especially in the postseason for this team. So you got to keep him in there for that situation. At least you switched him from right field to left field. And right field, we've seen now errors come through from a Gold Glover in Kyle Tucker. But those were the 2 runs that were tacked on Roki Sasaki's night. Besides that, Travis, he had a very solid outing. We all know how Coors Field can become a devil's playground when it comes to pitchers just losing it all out there. You could have a great second half of the season. You go to Coors Field, and you feel like everything goes down the trash can. Right here, Roki Sasaki, he was solid. And now the question mark is, last season, we know how they used him in the later part of the year in September and then in October as the closer. Right now, Travis, with Edwin Diaz out and Tanner Scott looking good in the back end of that bullpen, would you have Roki be your 8th inning guy? Would you have him be your closer? Would it be just depending on the situation and matchups?
Yeah, I think it's the last thing. I think that he's one of these guys that he has earned the confidence from Dave Roberts to be deployed in a variety of different roles. It's really hard to imagine a scenario where he's starting a game in the postseason, and not because he hasn't pitched well enough to earn a spot in the rotation. There isn't enough room. You usually go 4 deep in the playoffs. The Dodgers currently have like 7 guys. So not only is 1 or 2, like you're talking about Glasnow maybe having to be out of the bullpen. The addition of, because you know that Yamamoto's going to take the ball. You absolutely know that Skubal's going to take the ball. You absolutely know that Snell is going to take the ball, assuming that all these guys are healthy, which means you've got one spot for Ohtani, Glasnow, Sasaki, Lauer, Robleski, whoever you are. Like, there's a lot of guys for that one spot. If Shohei Ohtani is healthy, it goes to Shohei Ohtani. There's no question about it. But where does that leave Tyler Glasnow, who looked pretty good in his rehab start the other night? We know that when he's on, there are not too many guys that are better than Tyler Glasnow, but you just haven't seen it enough. So Sasaki's role, I think, is TBD. Sasaki's role is going to be something that maybe we haven't quite wrapped our heads around yet. We saw him do it last year in the postseason. But as far as getting a start, I don't know. I just don't think there's enough runway for him to get the ball in the first inning. But he's certainly done a good enough job to pitch his way onto the team in the postseason.
Yeah, you look at his numbers in the second half, 34 strikeouts versus 13 walks, and that was a big issue in the first half of the season for him. A 2.31 ERA over his last 6 starts. Those are good numbers for Roki Sasaki, who we've seen sometimes mentally checked out and having issues to be in the situation where you want him ideally in. And guys that needed this road trip for the other side, for when it comes to the bats, Mookie Betts, Kyle Tucker, even Kike Hernandez yesterday all delivered. Mookie 3 for 5 with a home run. Kyle Tucker 2 for 5 with a run scored. Kike Hernandez 2 for 4, including a 2-run bomb in the 4th inning. Travis, I know a lot of people, and I read some comments saying you guys can't get too excited about Coors Field. If that game in extra innings last night that they won 6-4 ended up being the opposite, they had a 4-2 lead. Alex Vesia lost that lead 4-4. If they had ended up losing this game, people would be like, oh my God, I can't believe you lost to the Rockies. They beat the Rockies. Well, you just beat the Rockies. It was like, it's a lose-lose situation for the Dodgers, but I just liked it. They took care of business, and you got some guys that you needed to get on the right side of the tracks. On the right side of the tracks.
Yeah, I think it's somewhere in the middle. It's sort of like you're going to lose to the Rockies once in a while. It happens, and especially there where the ballpark is so weird. And quite frankly, the Dodgers have been remarkably good there over the years. That even though that ballpark plays so unusually, offensive because of the altitude and the size and all that stuff. So had they lost the game, it would have been disappointing to blow a lead. There's no question about that. But sometimes weird stuff happens there. But I also think it's true that beating up on a team that is, might lose 100 games again, might be exactly what the doctor ordered. Does it mean that everything is back to normal and everything is, roses and puppy dog tails? Probably not. But hey, you take it when you get it. And right now they needed it desperately. They went in, they did what you would hope that they would do. And I think that the best part was, sure, it's nice to see Kyle Tucker get a couple of hits. It's nice to see Kike pop one. It's nice to see Mookie get some hard hit contact. All that's really good. But they played much better baseball. Minus Teoscar's adventure in the left field, they actually played really well. They made good decisions. They didn't have bad challenges. Other than Teoscar and Kyle Tucker's drop, their defense was much better. They threw to the right bases. They ran the bases correctly. Their at-bats were more disciplined and more measured, despite the fact that they popped some home runs. So if you just take it down to the stuff between the ears, the mental stuff, they did a much better job. That has nothing to do with the Rockies. That has everything to do with them. Good decisions are good decisions, regardless of the opponent. Scoring 11 runs, sure, that's a Coors Field thing on some point. But making good decisions to lead to 11 runs, that's just good baseball. And I think that they finally maybe came out of that little valley that they were in for the better part of a month. We'll see. They're coming back to Dodger Stadium to play the Pirates. If it looks right again, that's good news. The rub is, other than the Atlanta series, they don't really play anybody any good the rest of the year. They're playing bad teams really the rest of the year. So they're going to have to just play good baseball because that's the right thing to do, rather than the opponent is better than they are. They're playing for a bunch of things with stakes on them. So they're going to have to trick themselves a little bit.
And even extra innings, Travis. It's good that they got that experience. They haven't had a lot of these games, very, very few. And they were able to lead off the inning with a single, put the runner on third base. Freddie Freeman got the sac fly. Later, you got Mookie Betts giving you that insurance run, because we all know a one-run lead in extra innings doesn't mean anything at all with the ghost runner at second base. So I feel that was a good experience for the team as well. And look, they didn't have to play perfect baseball. They just had to make enough winning plays, and that's what they did on Wednesday night over at Coors Field, where it got a little bit messy, but they still won. And that's, at the end of the day, what you want to do, stack up the dubs. And I want to ask you, our viewer, our listener, after what you've seen from Roki Sasaki since the All-Star break, how much confidence do you have in him heading into the final stretch of the season? And what role do you want him to play for this team once the playoffs roll around? Drop your take in the comments, hit us up on social, or hit up the Locked On Dodgers listener line, 279-3-LOCK. That's 279-356-2533. You can either leave a voicemail or shoot us a text, because we want to hear where you stand. Coming up on Locked On Dodgers, the Dodgers will be getting another massive weapon back in that rotation, because Tyler Glasnow just put together the kind of rehab outing that makes his return feel very, very close. If you've got a sweet tooth like I do, you know how tough it is to find that perfect treat without all the sugar. That's why the Fruity Rainbow 5-Hour Energy Shot brings that nostalgic flavor back in a whole new way. Fruity Rainbow 5-Hour Energy Shots treat your taste buds to an explosion of fruity flavor with a tasty caffeine kick. It's a quick, easy way to satisfy that sweet craving while keeping things simple and on the go. I love how convenient it is too. It's just a small, portable shot I can grab whenever I need a little pick-me-up. Get candy-flavored chaos with Fruity Rainbow 5-Hour Energy Shots. Available online at 5hourenergy.com and Amazon.
Nothing like watching a Dodger game in person, right? There is nothing like walking through and going into that stadium and seeing everything with your own two eyes. The excitement, the fans, the green grass. The only problem, getting tickets can be a real, you know what, long queues, surprise fees, prices jumping at checkout. That's why there's Game Time. The Game Time app gives fans the advantage with constant innovation. It's how you unlock amazing tickets and experiences in just a few taps. Super simple to use. The Game Time guarantee means you get 100% authentic tickets delivered on time at the best price. And here's the best part. Fees are included in the price you see. What you see is what you pay, period. No huge jump at the end. I can't stand that. Never with Game Time. And of course, the seat view feature, awesome, right? You can see the entire panoramic view of exactly where you're going to sit before you buy it. It's super easy. 2 taps, it's done. No stress, no hidden fees, just great seats in minutes. That's what makes it so easy to decide last minute to go and check out a game. Take the guesswork out of buying your MLB tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code LOCKEDON for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create that account. Redeem code LOCKEDON, locked on, for $20 off. Download that Game Time app today.
Are you new here? Welcome. Everydayers, you already know you're the heartbeat of our show. It's easy and free to help us out. Subscribe and like our content on YouTube. Leave a 5-star review on Apple or Spotify. Those help out a lot. And hit the Locked On Dodgers listener line at 279-3-LOCKED. Tyler Glasnow just gave the Dodgers exactly what they wanted to see. If you're a Dodgers fan, this is the kind of update you want to wake up to. First, Tyler Glasnow's healthy. Second, he looks ready, really ready. Travis, he made his final rehab start Wednesday with AAA OKC, and his performance was impressive. 5 1/3 innings, 1 hit allowed, 1 walk, 1 run charged to him. And most importantly, 9 strikeouts. This is a guy that it's not about, is he good? It's mostly, is he available?
I think I said this on my radio show yesterday. Check it out, 3 to 6 on 710 ESPN here in Los Angeles each day. If you said to me, hey, listen, you're going into game 7 of the World Series, the NLCS, whatever it is, like a must win the whole thing or you lose situation. And the other guy has Jacob Mizorowski on the mound, okay? And you have to use Tyler Glasnow. Okay, let's go play. I got a really good chance to win that game because he's as good as anybody in baseball, period, when he plays. That's the only rub with that guy. Like he is an elite talent. We've seen it over and over and over again with this guy. It has nothing to do with whether or not he's good enough to get out the best hitters in the world. He is. It has nothing to do with whether or not he's got as good a stuff as, any other right-hander in baseball. He does. The only variable in him is I have no idea if he's going to pitch 1 inning, 5 innings, 10 starts, 0 starts. It is a complete mystery with him. And it's not just that he's had a little bit of a weird thing with the Dodgers. This has been his entire career. You just have no idea when he's going to be available. I'm with you, Harry. It's great news that he's healthy. It's great news that he looked the way that he looked. If he comes back and drops into the Dodger rotation, awesome. He fits right in. He's as good as everybody else out there. We talk about Skubal and Snell and the Cy Youngs that they have, and Yamamoto being the big game pitcher that he is, and he is. And Ohtani, of course, we know is, maybe the greatest baseball player ever. Tyler Glasnow's not out of position with those guys. He's not out of place. He's just as good as those guys. He just doesn't play enough. But here he comes. We're getting back to the end of the year. So put him in there and let him go because he is terrific. But you also need to know that, hey, Roki, stay ready. Hey, Lauer, stay ready. Hey, Robleski, stay ready. Because if he came back and pitched 2 games, Harry, is like, my arm hurts again or my hip or whatever it is that's bothering him. And any given time, we'd be like, yep, okay, there it is again. Like there's no, you absolutely can't count on him. But you absolutely love it when he pitches. It's a very weird mix of a guy. He's a terrific player who very rarely plays.
There's no guarantee that, for example, what happened with Blake Snell when he returned and had 1 start and then immediately went back on the IL. Tyler Glasnow, at least he started the season and then 7 starts in, he ends up on the injured list. And now it's been 3+ months waiting for him to return. Fortunately, that return seems to be on the horizon, a week away for it to happen, just a month before the postseason starts. And you got him on that bump for what it usually is what they ask for, right? Travis, 5 innings or 75 pitches. He was just 5+ innings, 77 pitches, 54 of them going for strikes. This after he had just had a 3 2/3 hitless innings with 8 strikeouts. So you know that the stuff is there. You know that the velo is there. But once again, it's like, hey, you just don't know how long he's going to be here. The good thing is that it's at the end of the season. It's like he's coming back and he's been out for a while, and you can hopefully trust that it's like, okay, all we need is 2 months. We're not asking for 6 months. We're not asking for 4 months. It's 2 months, Tyler. And we've seen you be a dominant pitcher for 2 months last year. Let's do it again this year.
Yeah, it's 2 months. Sure. I mean, 2 weeks, 2 starts. I mean, there is no
2 innings.
Yeah, there's no number that feels like, oh, we're clear on that. Like you literally have no idea with him. It could be a start, it could be 3 months. You have no idea what it is. But like you said, I go back to, there was a poll taken among major league hitters, I think it was 2 years ago, about who is the toughest at bat for these guys. Like, in other words, who's got the best stuff? Who's the guy that makes you feel most uncomfortable when you're up there? And it was all the names that you would expect to see. And Tyler Glasnow. Like, Glasnow was really, I think he was 4th on that list in all of baseball. Like, think of all the great arms in Major League Baseball, and Glasnow was near the top of that list. That's how good of a pitcher he is. That's how good his stuff is. He just doesn't pitch enough. And look, he's coming back. I hope he's healthy through the rest of the year. I hope that somebody could play this back a year from now and he's still going strong. And we're like, yeah, okay, I guess he figured it out. But he is what he is. He's awesome, and he doesn't play very much.
You've been able to survive, and I'll use air quotes, survive without Tyler Glasnow, without Blake Snell, having Justin Robleski have an incredible first half that earned him an all-star bid. You were able to get Eric Lauer pretty much off the street with the Toronto Blue Jays getting rid of him, and the Dodgers are pretty much unbeatable when he's up in the mound. Roki Sasaki, he's been able to be up in the big league club every start this season, and now you get Tyler Glasnow back. Now you get Blake Snell back, and he's looked amazing in his last 2 starts. Shohei Ohtani, he pitched another bullpen session. That's a step in the positive direction. This is what the Dodgers have been building this rotation, this pitching staff for this final stretch of the season. So when the postseason rolls around, we don't find ourselves in the same situation that we were in 2024, where it's like, damn it, who am I going to have as a starting pitcher in the World Series? The Dodgers, they have a starting pitcher for every different, if they go 7 games, they can use a different starting pitcher in every single game of that series if they wanted to. Obviously, they won't, but you got Tarek Skubal, who I haven't even mentioned in this one. I'm just going with the pitchers that the Dodgers pretty much started the season with. Skubal, bam, 2-time Cy Young Award winner, defending the award the last 2 years in the AL. It's just the reason why the Dodgers built this team like this. They know when they're going to need those pitchers ready, September, October.
Yeah, look, and whether it's Glasnow or whoever, like, these guys are going to pitch out of the bullpen too. Like that, we've seen it. I've said this before. The last 3 times the Dodgers have won the World Series, 2020, 2024, and 2025, the guy on the mound at the end of all 3 of those championship games was a starting pitcher. It was Julio Urias, it was Walker Buehler, and it was Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Like they play very differently in the postseason. And there is a very easy world to imagine where Tyler Glasnow was on the mound at the end of a game, not because he went 9 innings, but because they bring him in the 7th or 8th and he just starts mowing guys down and there's no answer for it. So I wouldn't be surprised to see that again.
So let's close the segment asking you, when Tyler Glasnow comes back, who do you think he should immediately be considered a replacement for as part of the Dodgers playoff rotation? Because there's going to be that question, who gets left out of the rotation, because now you got a surplus of starters. So drop your answer in the comments or find us on social. I'm at Harry Ruiz on X, at Harry_Ruiz on Instagram, and on TikTok at Harry Ruiz_. You can find Travis on X and IG at Travis Rodgers. Next on Locked On Dodgers, Max Muncy is doing something pretty remarkable, and now he's getting rewarded every time he steps into the batter's box.
Can we talk about one of the most underrated organs in your body, your liver? It's your body's filter, processing everything you consume and performing more than 500 functions each and every day. It's involved in things like energy production, digestion, fat metabolism, and vitamin storage. So it's doing a lot of work behind the scenes. That's why giving your liver daily support can be an important part of building healthy habits. Dose Your Liver is a clinically backed liver health supplement designed to support daily liver function. And unlike other capsules or powders, Dose comes as a liquid 2-ounce daily shot that tastes like fresh squeezed orange juice. 0 sugar, 0 junk, 0 calories, making it an easy addition to your daily routine, right? Maybe you want to hit that thing first thing in the morning. You've got your routine where you're grabbing your coffee, you check your phone, you get ready for the day. It just fits perfectly right in there. One of those things that's quick, so you don't really have to think about it too much. You just do it and you move on. So are you ready to give your liver the support it deserves? Head to dose.co/LockedOnMLB or enter LockedOnMLB to get 35% off your first subscription. Your body does so much for you. Let's do something for it. That's DOSEDAILY.co/LockedOnMLB for 35% off your first month subscription.
Don't forget to check out Pete Fox on our YouTube channel with the Locked On Dodgers postcast with immediate reaction right after the final out of every Dodgers game. Max Muncy is cashing in, and he's earning every penny of it because the Dodgers' third baseman has been around this organization more than anybody else on this roster. He's won 3 World Series. He's gone through incredible highs, through some lows as well. But heading into the season, Travis, he had something else hanging over him, a contract situation. Well, Right before the season started, the Dodgers took care of that. Muncy signed an extension that guarantees him $10 million over the next year with a $7 million salary for 2027 and a club option for 28 worth $10 million. Pretty team-friendly deal for a player who's been one of the most important pieces of the lineup for years. But Travis, now here comes the fun part. Incentives. He has crossed the 400 plate appearance mark this season, and that activates an incentive package in his contract. According to Sportico, Muncy gets an additional $15,000 for every plate appearance from number 401 through 550. That means that he's making a lot of money just for stepping up to the plate. I'm pretty sure he's going to be like, don't give me no days off, man. I'm good playing as much as possible.
Yeah, why not, right? At $15K a crack, I'd be looking to, bat him leadoff, get him one or two extra ones a week along the way as well. Why not? I think you said it really well. I think that the best part of this is that, and I swear I'm not trying to take a shot at Kyle Tucker here. I'm not, but I'm going to do it anyway. But like, Muncy has earned every penny of that 15 grand. He has earned more. And so there's not one person that when he's coming up is going, oh my God, can you believe this? Like, that dude is maybe, and I'm not being hyperbolic when I say this, I believe this. Max Muncy might be the greatest ROI, the greatest return on investment of any player the Dodgers have ever had. Like, for what he makes and for what he brings to the table, I don't know if there's a better value in all of baseball. Like, yes, Shohei Ohtani is a multiple-time MVP and he hits 50 home runs, but Shohei Ohtani makes $70 million a year, okay? He's expensive. Now, he's worth every penny as well, but Max Muncy in the baseball economic universe is a very inexpensive player, and yet he performs at an all-star level over and over and over again. So I'm thrilled for the guy. I'm old enough, Harry, to have grown up with that 70s infield with Ron Say, Bill Russell, Davey Lopes, and Steve Garvey. That was kind of my introduction to Dodger baseball and falling in love with the game and that team in particular. And I've thought in my mind for a very long time that Ron Say is the greatest third baseman in Dodger history. You could make a case for Justin Turner. I think Justin Turner had a lot of big moments along the way. Turner was a great player for the Dodgers as well. But the answer is easy. It's Max Muncy. Like, Max Muncy has been tremendous. By the time it's all said and done, we know that he's hit more home runs at Dodger Stadium than anybody. He's going to catch Eric Karros for most home runs as a Los Angeles Dodger for a while. Ohtani's going to blow past him at some point, but he will have the record for a period of time. I'm thrilled for the guy. I'm a huge fan of his. He's turned himself into a really good third baseman after being a not very good third baseman for a period of time. 3-time All-Star player. A 3-time and counting World Series champion. He's a guy that's taken team-friendly deals over and over again. I'm thrilled he's getting his money because he's made every penny, and good for him.
And what an irony it is, right? You look at him and he's like the perfect Moneyball player. And he signed with the Oakland A's. That's where he started his career. They let him go. He comes to the Dodgers and he's the perfect player for what they need. You need a home run, he'll pop up. If it's an 18-inning game against the Red Sox in Game 3 of the World Series, you just need it in a regular season game, he'll do it. You need a patient batter because the opposing pitcher is mowing through your lineup and you just need him to get up in the pitch count. Max Muncy can do that. You need him to just get on base instead because you're down by 2 and he's the batter up at the plate. He can get a walk or he can get a single just to make sure there's traffic on the bases and gives you a chance to win. So I'm very happy for him. And we were talking about it in the offseason before the regular season started. It's like this contract is it's a steal for the Dodgers. I mean, it's literally top 10. And he's number 10 when it comes to salary per year for the Dodgers. And the type of production he has, Travis, the leader in WAR for the Dodgers this season is Andy Pages. After him, there's 2 guys tied at second place, Shohei Ohtani and Max Muncy. Muncy is the man. And then this season, he's the best defensive third baseman in the National League. He deserves a Gold Glove. Hopefully he does get one. He got an all-star start, his first one as a big leaguer. So it's just like the perfect season for him. So him getting $15K extra every single at-bat. Also, it's a huge been a huge thumbs up for him, how he's been able to stay healthy, because the last 2 seasons, that wasn't the case. He either got hit in the hand, he got a weird slide at third base that got to him. There's been thing after thing. This year, he's been able to stay healthy for most of the season, like in 2023. So congratulations to him. He earns every single dollar, and I would say double that amount. Go from $15K to $30K for every plate appearance, because this man deserves it.
Well, I think there are kickers. He gets the other plate where it jumps up and he gets it added to his salary next year based on how many plate appearances he's had. So he's going to get some real money. I think I saw that if he plays the way that he's played for the first part of the season, as far as the amount that he plays, he's going to make nearly $2 million more over the course of the next 6 or 8 weeks. So good on him for sure. And then the last thing I'll just add to this is, and I had Steven Nelson on my radio show the other day, and he mentioned this, that when it comes to being the vocal leader of the team, the guy that stands up in front of everybody, the guy that will challenge other players, the guy that other players look to be the leader of this team in tough moments, there's 2 guys, Miguel Rojas and Max Muncy. That those are the 2 guys that everybody kind of looks to be the vocal leaders, and they both accepted that role willingly. They're very, very good at it. So not only is he a great player, Harry, but he's a leader on a team that is loaded with Hall of Famers, and yet he's the guy that stands up and say, he's the longest tenured Dodger on the team. It's he is the man in that clubhouse, and like we've both said more than once, he deserves everything he gets.
Yeah, here are some numbers, Travis. It's just the 6th time in his 11-year career where Muncy has more than 400 plate appearances, his first since 2023. He has played in 118 games out of the 128 games that the Dodgers have played so far this season. With 34 games remaining and the Dodgers playing for the best record in the National League, you better bet that Max Muncy is going to be out there as much as possible. So there's a good chance that he earns an additional $2.25 million in 2026 compared to his original salary with the contract that he had signed. And like I said, good for him. He's one of the good guys, man. He's one of those that you root for every Dodger. But it's hey, man, when in an era where it's man, please take a team-friendly deal, especially in other sports with the salary cap. Shout out LeBron James. Right here, Max Muncy, it's hey, man, sure, I'll do it. I'm a piece of the puzzle. Let's keep winning championships.
Yeah, I agree with all of that, other than root for every Dodger. There are a couple of guys that I tolerate more than root for, but sure, yes.
I root for them because I want this team to win another championship.
So do I.
But it's you got levels, right? You got a 10 out of 10, like you got Max Muncy, Shohei Ohtani, Yoshinobu Yamamoto, and then you got
there's others. Yes.
And then down here, you got the guy that you always bash. But hey, he's deserved it until he proves it otherwise for this team. So let's close today's show asking you at home, with the season he's having, where do you rank Max Muncy among the Dodgers' most valuable offensive players right now? And tell me why it's top 3 and maybe not 3 or 2. Let us know in the comment section on YouTube or reach out on social media. All right, that's going to do it for today's episode. Thank you for making Locked On Dodgers your first listen of the day, and thank you for making Locked On, which is celebrating its 10th anniversary, the #1 sports podcast network. We'll be back on Friday to talk about the MVP race that's heating up between Shohei Ohtani and PCA. Plus, we got a lot of listener line questions from you. If you're watching on YouTube, stick around and check out the 24/7 National Locked On Podcast Network channel. If you're listening on audio, make Locked On MLB your second listen of the day. Travis and I appreciate you riding with us. Until next time, keep it real, keep it Dodger Blue.